Hi everyone, and welcome to EVE Talk, your weekly look at the markets in EVE Online. Now, it's already been quite a while since I've started this series, and in the meantime I do have more viewers than what I had first, so just in case someone who doesn't play EVE or is not so familiar with the game stumbles upon the stream or on the video later on, maybe just a quick explanation on how the market works in EVE Online and why it's so extremely important for EVE Online. But before that, allow me to quickly check the status of the stream. And that looks okay. So what you have to know about the market in EVE Online is that pretty much everything that exists in the game, from ships, weapons, munitions, star bases, and all the different modules and components of those things, are produced by the players and then brought to the market. Now, the market is actually not just one big auction house like in most MMOs, where they have like one auction house per faction or something like that. EVE Online has thousands of systems, probably tens of thousands of stations, and every single station is like a small market upon itself, where all the goods that are in the hangars in those stations can be traded, picked up, and then moved back throughout the game. Naturally, with a system like that and thousands of systems, what naturally has developed amongst the players are certain trade hubs, so some nicely located systems that have been chosen by the players just probably because of their central locations for most of the trading. And the biggest one amongst those is right here. It's called Jita, which is a Caldari system, and the station called Jita 4-4 because it's at Planet 4, Moon 4, is basically the Wall Street of EVE Online. So it is the biggest trade hub. Millions upon millions of goods are traded here every single day. In fact, I'll do a quick undock on this right now. And so, yeah, what makes it so special is, of course, that it's been chosen by the players to be the major trade hub. And as a result of that, pretty much all the time you'll see numbers like this in local. 1,300 players are in this one system. And you can see a lot of transport ships that are docking and undocking here all the time, loaded with goods or bringing in goods to the market to try and sell for a profit. Now, 1,300 players, in EVE numbers, that's quite significant, but compare that to any other MMO, that's pretty much the active, population of a single server. But all of these guys are in one system and around one station most of the time as well, which is basically the Wall Street of EVE Online. And so, of course, if you want to get an idea or a feeling of what's happening in the market in EVE in general, Jita 4-4 is the place to be to check that out. In fact, I'll do my docking order. I'll have to fly back a little bit, I think. No, apparently not. Because, well, pretty much anything and everything is being actively traded in this station. Anything that happens everywhere else in the universe. Information has no time here in EVE Online, and right here the trading is so active that the real market is considered to be reflected right here in Jita 4-4, just because of the scale of the trading going on here. Most other systems outside of this, I would say in HiSec you're looking at like 40-50 people in busy systems. If you go further away, where we are in Solitude, you have maybe 10 people online at any given time. In Nullsec, you have more busy hubs as well, but Jita 4-4, it definitely takes the cake. 1,300, 1,400 people that are constantly here, just scamming, trading, bringing in goods, bringing out goods. And this is why Jita 4-4 is really the market for EVE Online. It's the Wall Street of EVE Online, and why I have my alt right here. I use it during my normal game sessions just for like price checks, quickly log in, see what the value is of a certain good here in Jita. That's your best barometer, and of course for the EVE talks themselves. So let's enter the captain's quarters and then let's get going and let's see what's happening at the markets in the last few days and weeks. So let's head over towards the couch. As always, if you have any questions or any goods that you need me or want me to check, feel free to post them in the comments. There is a small delay there, so I'll do my best if I see any comments to check it out. But other than that, you know, I have a normal routine that I do as well, and which most of my viewers have probably come to get used to. So let's take a seat here. And yeah, this introduction basically is more... Whoa, and what the hell, my mouse seems to be stuck a little bit. That's the first time that that's happening. That's not good, because I want to go up, and it's actually not going up. What the hell is this? So let's do a quick escape then. Oh dear. That could be problematic. Ah, it's back. Well, that's a new mouse for you. You never know when the first kinks show up, and that happens to be when I'm live. But let's go to the market window. And yeah, someone gave me the tip that I could work here with separate folders. I'm starting to use those. So first of all, here we have the minerals, which is the first thing that I tend to check all the time. Because basically this is what miners get, and they're really like a baseline, a base resource for a lot of the stuff that gets produced by the players. So let's have a quick look here at Tritanium first, which is the most common one by far. Current prices in the station, let's have a quick look here. 486, that's interesting, definitely 10 cents up from last week, and 472 for the buyer. So let's have a look at the chart. Well, terrible chart, you can't really make anything out of that. But I'd say a good chance that we're finally seeing a bottom here for Tritanium, because it's been up, it's up a little bit from last week. Pyrite is the next more common. We're looking at prices in station 1162. That's actually down from last week. Last week it was closer to 12. So here you can clearly see on the chart, is a 1-year chart, that we've been going down for quite a while. We've been close to 16 ISK, and now we're well below 12 ISK. 5-day moving average data points keep going down towards 11, even 11.5, 11.6 current price. So yeah, minerals, the pyrite still on a downtrend. Tritanium might look like it's reaching a bottom. Let's have a look at the next one, Mexalon then. Here we can see that, in my opinion, Mexalon has reached the bottom. 5-day moving average above 20-day, and it's going back up a little bit. Let's have a look at current prices in station though. 37.20, 37.45. That's very low for Mexalon on a 1-year perspective. Look at that, it was above 60 ISK until January, and then we have this really big downtrend all the way down close to 35. But now it does look, at least for Mexalon, that we have a bottom. So pyrite, let's hope that's just lagging behind a little bit, and that this will finally start to redress as well. Unfortunately, breaking the 12 ISK mark is not a good thing, and the new bottom could be something like 11.5, maybe even 11. So that's really not great news. Isogen, that's definitely one you can still get in high sec. Similar chart, you know, it has peaks of over 180. The end of the chart is not that visible. Yeah, here again it's trying to work at a bottom. You see the 5-day moving average joining in with 20-day. If it can actually cross that and start going back up, that might just mean a bottom, but we're not sure just yet. In my opinion, current price is 128, 129, coming from 180. Of course, the downtrend is less severe than what we've seen in Tritanium, Pyrite, and especially Mexalon. But it's definitely still there, and let's hope that this tail end here is a sign that we're reaching a bottom. Next up, Noxium. This can still be had in high sec, but it's not as easy or as common, and this one seems to still be moving down quite a bit. Yeah, 5-day moving average still well below 20-day, broke 800 ISK no problem, so it's looking like it's going down quite a bit more. 729 in Jita station, that's really not great for Noxium either, especially if I go back to the 1-year chart here with the top at over 1000 ISK, now back down to 700. That's a serious correction. Let's see if it can break 700. The downtrend is definitely still going on. I think that's going to be hard to do. I would expect 700 to be a support for Noxium, but you never know. You know, we still have to keep an eye on that. Next up, Zydrine, a lot more rare than the rest. I don't think you can actually get that in high-sec except maybe for some very rare anomalies or signatures. Yeah, you can once again see that downtrend, although it's not as severe because of the chart, and that's a little bit screwed up. But it's been over 1000 ISK, current prices in station 661, so also again almost 40% off from its highs here for Zydrine, and still looking like it might be going down even more. Next up, Megasite. Are we getting a better chart for Megasite then? At least it's a bit more visible. Once again, here we can see a top 2500 ISK right around Odyssey, the launch, then a serious downtrend, and now a slower downtrend that is still continuing. I don't think we are seeing an end to that just yet. Let's see if 1800 can be supported. It's very close to that. 1814 ISK. Yeah. Let's have a quick look here. You know, you can see the 5-day moving average, although it's still below the 20-day moving average. It's having a really hard time crossing that 1800 point, so it's going to be interesting here once again. Can it break that price point just like it's done here in Pyrite? It broke 12 ISK and then it went down another 30 cents quite quickly. For Megasite, you know, if it breaks 1800, is it going to be towards 1700 that we'll see a bottom? It's a very hard market to judge at the moment. Some of them seem to be indicating a bottom, others are still going down substantially. Really hard to say at the moment, and not great news for miners. You know, their profits are down quite a lot from the highs just before Odyssey. Back then you could easily make 6 to 7 million from a single full run of Mackinac. Now you're really lucky if you get 5 million out of some high-sec mining. For a full Mackinac. So yeah, their efficiency has definitely taken a serious dive. Now the expected influence this has is right away on Tech 1 chips, because those use minerals quite a lot. So let's have a look at a few of those. I like to take a look at the Drake, although that one has lost popularity for quite a while. You know, it used to be a real doctrine in 0.0, but it's no longer used as much because of nerfs to the ship and to heavy missiles, which it mostly uses. And I think you can clearly see that a top here for the year was at 54 million. Before that, you know, a normal price between 50 and 52 million. It's been that for quite a while, and it's been way higher before all the nerfs even. But now, yeah, it's just, look at that downtrend. It's at an all-time low for the whole year, and we're probably looking at close to 44.9 million for a Drake at the moment. So really pretty low, not too great for the Drake. But like I said, the Drake used to be a super ship. You know, it was a really awesome tank for a battle cruiser and a lot of damage that it could dish out. Now that's all been changed, and so it's no longer flavor of the moment. And maybe a better ship to look at is something like a Maelstrom, which is a battleship. Number one, it uses more minerals to produce, so the impact of that should be more direct. And I think it hasn't changed that much in usage over the last few expansions due to nerfs or anything like that. In fact, I think the artilleries might be getting a little buff with Odyssey, so you would expect this to become maybe even a bit more popular. But it's a real reflection of the general mineral market, I think. You know, it's held on quite well, close to 220, 210, something like that for quite a while. But then with Odyssey, minerals took a dive, and thus Maelstrom as well, because production costs a lot less. And so here you can clearly see that downtrend breaking 180 million, which is again at an all-time low for Tech 1 ships for the last year, I should say. Maybe not an all-time, but on the 1-year chart, definitely at its lowest point at the moment. Current prices 179 million for a Maelstrom, where you had to dish out more than 200 million throughout most of the year before that. So this is the influence of the mineral market on Tech 1 ships. It's very direct, and I think in battleships is where you get the most direct influence of that, just because they use quite a lot of them, and their battleships are used quite a lot in 0.0 as well, so they can be very popular, a lot of demand for that. And yeah, there you go. Clearly it's not the time to be either mining in high-sec or producing Tech 1 ships in my opinion. After Tech 1, obviously, we have Tech 2. So let's have a quick look. Tech 2 battle cruisers. Advanced. I like to look at the command ships because of how volatile this market is. If you look at this 1 year chart, you know, low of 180, a top of 260, a lot of spikes, a lot of corrections. This is great for trading. Over here you can see a big spike. This is because in Odyssey 1.1 all the command ships are going to get a change. But apparently, you know, the Amar Absolution here, not too popular with the changes because it's actually going down quite severely. Even here at the tail end, it broke 200 million, so 199 for an Absolution. That's actually decently low price. Let's have a look at the Damnation. This one's holding up quite a bit better. Actually, it started off below 200 at the beginning of the year. It never really broke 250. With the announced changes here, you can see that big spike, and this is really what I like. Despite that, you still have a big spike here, 50 million in not too much time, 20 million here in not too much time, another 20 here, 10 here, 20, 30 here, 40, maybe even 50 million right here. Those are a lot of trade opportunities, and that's really why I like the Tech 2 market a lot. Here, huge spike because of the announced changes. Then a correction. People didn't really like what's happening to the Damnation that much, but it's still holding on at around 250 million. So I think overall, you know, the Damnation probably not changed too much in its role or in its demand. This is mostly a speculative bubble right here. But right again here, I can see a small spike here of 10 million, and here we are seeing a dip. So are we at price below 250? Yeah, 248. Some are being sold. And as you can see, you know, if you can pick some up, maybe 245, something like that, just place a couple buy orders, which are at 232, you know, if you can pick some up at below 240, and then just wait for one of these spikes again. 10, 20 million ISK profit for a Damnation is pretty easy. So I really look at the Tech 2 market for trading opportunities myself. The Nighthawk here, of course, will always see the speculative bubble form here with the Odyssey changes, but that corrected again, and now it's back up again towards 200 million. But overall for the year, decently stable, hanging around 200 million ISK with some decent spikes here, you know, 10 million here, definitely here a dip of 10 to 20 million, here nice big spike, 20 million here again, you know. It's something you have to be active in, but there's definitely opportunities. Let's have a look at the Vulture. This one apparently seems to be liked quite a lot by the changes. Here you can see the uptick with the announcements, but it's managed to stay close to 300 million in price. So Vulture seems to be buffed according to the market. 273 current pricing station, so maybe a little bit of a pullback, but definitely nowhere near the 210 to 20 million it was before. So definitely the Vulture demand seems to have increased. Galente, we have the Astarte here, big spike right here and here again. So I think you can once again see the trade opportunities here. Look at these spikes. Although that's 10 million, right here we have 30 million, here another 30, 40 million, here again and here again. So that's really awesome, you know. If you can buy at the right time and sell at the right time, you're looking to make a decent profit for one of these command ships. And overall, I would say maybe a little bit higher than the general price for the year, but not such a big change for the Astarte. The EOS, however, is a different story. Again, you can see the spikes right there during the year, pretty nice. But average price below 220, so I'd say maybe close to that, 215, something like that. New price point right around, oh, what would that be, 290, something like that. Current prices for an EOS 283 in Jita Station. The reason for that is because the changes will allow the EOS to field 5 heavy drones. It will be the first battlecruiser to be able to do that, and naturally people expect a lot of demand for the EOSs, and I think they're absolutely right. That's a huge buff to the ship, and that's why we're seeing this price spike. So if you had been in this market and you had been able to purchase some EOSs below 220, yeah, you'd be looking at a clean 50, 60 million ISK profit for every EOS there. So that's really, whoever has EOS BPCs or BPOs, they're sitting on gold at the moment. The Claymore, you know, that one apparently hasn't changed too much, and it's been pretty stable. You can see a few less spikes, so obviously not all command chips are great for trading. You have to keep an eye out for the opportunities. Let's have a look at the Slipneer. That one's even lower, you know, start at 300, current price point 250, but not too much movement. Most of the movement definitely in the EOS for the Galente with the announced changes. But yeah, this is the Tech2 market. You know, if I look at Tech2 stuff, I look at these spikes as great buying and selling opportunities, and this is really the reason why I tend to cover that. So Tech2 market, you know, are also doing quite well. In fact, both the command chips and the hacks are getting rebalanced, which means there's a lot of movement in there, but the buff chips are also worth a lot more. So that's really a good market to have been in before. Also, you know, if you could produce stuff in the Tech2 market, I think you're looking pretty good. That's probably where you'll get the better margins at the moment. I think it's going to be Tech2 manufacturing. After Tech 1, you know, which I wouldn't want to be in, and Tech 2, we also have a Tech 3 market. Before I go there, let me quickly do another check of how everything is looking here. Yep, that's all looking quite all right. Yep. So the Tech 3 markets. Unfortunately, I'll quickly show you guys something like the low-key market here. Definitely at an all-time low for the year, close to 170 million for a low-key. Did it break that? Yes, 169, 700, 800 maybe. So breaking 170, pretty much all-time lows for Tech 3 ships. So that's really not a great market to be in either. Let me show you the Tengu chart here, pretty much the same, although that's one, well, look at the 5-day moving average here, dipping way down and testing that 170 million price mark. Also 169,900. Wow, Tengus used to be worth around 300 million ISK. So the reason for this is that people are expecting further nerfs, I think, to the Tech 3 markets, and they have been nerfed substantially already. So I think it was in a dev blog where CCP, or maybe in a dev post, where CCP clearly stated that they had a problem with the fact that the Tech 3 was the best ship at certain roles, and there were actually many of them. It was definitely the best high-sec exploration ship because it could do any combat site without even the slightest bit of risk or effort. I think it was also one of the best command ships because you could do this pretty much the same thing or even better than a command ship, but with an interdiction module on there so that you could basically be get out of bubbles. And I think you could also make some of these Tech 3s unscannable in some way, so they were just too versatile. But on top of that versatility, they were also the best in a lot of the fields. And obviously they're buffing the command ships, so that's another role that dropped. They're no longer able to do combat sites in high sec, so I think that's a lot of demand for Tech 3 ships gone there. And yeah, right now they're at all-time lows, and I don't think you want to be in the production part of Tech 3 ships at the moment. Of course, if you want to buy them, you know, they're used a lot in wormhole space. That's great, you know, to import them. That's a nice opportunity, but that market is really looking very low. And in fact, I'm really I wouldn't say concerned. But if I look here now again at the melted nanoribbons, also this comes from wormhole space. These are dropping again quite a lot, from 6.5 million. What current price is 5.1. So, and it looks to have stabilized, but it's a bit risky, you know. Maybe quick look at the buyer, still above 5 million. So it doesn't look like it's going to break 5 million. In fact, I would consider looking at this chart that we're looking at a buy opportunity in melted nanoribbons close to 5 million. If you can sell them at 6 million, that's a decent profit if you can buy enough of them. But yeah, the Tech 3 market in general is really not healthy either. And considering what's happened in the Tech 1 and in the Tech 3 and now as well in Technetium, look at that. These are changes to the 0-0 moon mining. I'm really curious to see if we'll see another economic outlook by CCP if we're not in the current deflationary cycle this summer, because a lot of stuff has really decreased a lot in price. In fact, the only market that I'm really looking at, look at these fuel blocks. they're doing a little bit better maybe, but not great either. The only market that's holding up is the Tech 2 market at the moment. Tech 3 is at an all-time low. Tech 1, as we've seen, has been dropping since Odyssey substantially in price. And maybe it's working at a bottom, but it's all tentative. You know, every time a few of them seem to have reached the bottom, some others are dropping, and then 2 weeks later it's the opposite picture. So it's really hard to say at the moment. Maybe I'll look a bit more at some other Tech 1 chips. There are exceptions, you know, the Omen, some that have been changed during the last winter expansion. Those are up in price. But here again we can see the effect of the minerals right here after the Odyssey launch. Definitely a downtrend, pulling the Omen back below 10 million ISK, where it's been for a decent while. So this is the rock right there. Once again, you can see holding on quite well during the year, but Odyssey comes, mineral prices drop, prices of Tech 1 chips take a serious dive there as well. So it's really, I wonder if we're in a general deflationary cycle. Maybe this is just what I've felt, because I've really been trying to sell stuff as well, and it's not that easy at the moment. Look at that again. We can clearly see the effect of Odyssey and the mineral market on the Talos market here as well. All-time low, looking at around 70 million. I'm a Talos producer, but all my production is on hold at the moment. I can't really get any real margins for the efforts that I put in there. So it's really not looking too great at the moment. And yeah, I am curious, you know, I would like to see some numbers from CCP after the summer to see if you're actually in a deflationary moment, summer. In some way, this is normal, you know, during the summer, if activity drops, this is something that happens every year. The player base drops, you know, people take a break, that's normal. And then after the summer, when winter expansion is announced, people get excited again, they come back to the game, and then the market tends to pick up as well. Yeah, this is actually quite drastic when in the general trends, both Tech 1 and Tech 3 are close to year lows. The only thing that's holding up are Tech 2 markets, I think. Are we in a general deflation in EVE Online? It's a question that I'm posing, and this is probably also a huge aspect of the market. It's pretty much only in EVE Online where you can actually have deflation. In any other MMO, you know, inflation is the rule, and it's impossible to escape that, because in fact gold is an intense part of the incentive to get people to play higher level content. So higher level content always has to yield more gold, thus you'll constantly get inflation. In EVE Online, this is a real market and deflation is possible, and in my opinion we could just be in that. Let me quickly see if there's any reactions or something that people are asking, but it doesn't look like it. People are just here for the information, or when you... Let's have a quick look here. Nope, it's just a hi by Matty, so that's quite alright. How long have I been going actually? Can I see that? Pretty much half an hour. But yeah, I think this is already a good general overview of the market in EVE Online right here in Jita. And it's really going to be very interesting to see how serious the pickup is with the winter expansion, and if it can pull especially the Tech 1 market back up. When people start to demand more ships, maybe a 0-0 war, something like that could of course be good news, but that's really hard to say at the moment considering the 0-0 situation. But as always, I'll end up with the Plex right there, which is in my opinion also the barometer for the EVE Online economy, for the health of the EVE Online economy, because one Plex is 30-day game time, and so that's probably the best item to protect your effort, your ISK in, but that also knows some serious variations. And in fact, well, I was going to say it's holding up quite well, but I wouldn't be surprised if it dipped back below 550. Yeah, exactly, 547. I think it was close to 552, something like that last week. On the 3-month chart you can see it as well right there, 5-day moving average dropping off quite a bit, in fact dragging the 20-day moving average down as well. Really interesting. I consider this a buying opportunity below 550. Maybe. I already have 8 Plex. I wonder if I should buy some more. The reason for this is right here, and this is exactly what I was talking about. When the winter expansion is announced and more features of that is announced, the player base tends to get excited. More people come back in the game, a lot more speculation happens in the market, and the primary target is usually the Plex market, just because that's 30-day game time. A lot of new players want that item. Because it's basically what allows you to play E for free if you can actually earn those Plexes, and that really drives up that Plex price towards the winter expansion, and that's what you see here, this big spike going from 500 to 620 million. Definitely around 590 is what it's been sustained for a bit, and after that it drops right back off. It picked back up, but not as severely during the summer expansion, and here again, you know, it's still down from its top of Odyssey, so this could be another signal that yes, there is some deflation in general in the EVE economy at the moment. Of course, this is buying opportunity, you know, if it's going to mirror this, if CCP can come out with a great winter expansion, can you imagine your Plex going up 100 million ISK? So that would mean that all it would have to do is basically mirror this chart, maybe break it by 20-30 million ISK. Right there, if that starts right now, you know, you want to have Plex in your cargo, not liquid ISK in this deflationary cycle. Yeah, sure, stuff is, your ISK is worth more at the moment, but if inflation picks back up, if activity picks back up, what you actually want to be in is commodities, in my opinion. So I've really been trying to sell a lot of my stuff. At the moment, it's usually faction stuff, which normally has not dropped that much in price either, I hope. And then I'm looking for something that I can really buy a lot of. I'm thinking Plex, maybe something else. Maybe after the first information of the winter expansion, you know, they go for POSs. Well, maybe POS fuels could be a good investment, something like that. But this is really, I think this is a crucial time. I think this Plex chart shows that it's a crucial time to keep an eye on EVE Online, to prepare your investments to make the most out of the winter expansion, because this spike right here is about to materialize normally. If CCP comes out with a great winter expansion, we'll see this here again, not just in Plex, you know, but you see this every year in Plex. In other goods, it could be even more if it's the goods that CCP decides to touch in the winter expansion. And right now, you know, this is preparation time. This is really when I think when most of the market guys are looking for any bit of information, anything that can give them an edge. And it's in this preparation where a lot of money is made over the course of the winter expansion. In fact, a lot of your bets are, you want to make them now. If it's true that we are having general deflation, this is the moment to start buying up in stuff that you expect will really be popular during the expansion and will start to rise. And I think Plex, you know, historically that's always been one of them. But I'm sure that there's even better goods out there. So that's definitely what you want to do your homework for. You know, we're right here from last year. We're right at the beginning of that huge sprint upwards. The end of the summer is coming, so activity is going to pick up. People are coming back. New players are going to give it a try. Add in some winter expansion information, and yeah, this is really looking like we could have a really great opportunity, because the market has been just slugging along a little bit after Odyssey, and a lot of the markets have actually been in deflation, like Tech 1, Tech 3 and all of that. So really, I think it's an very interesting time. You know, I think not too many people are too active at the moment, but it's really the time to get active, I think, in my opinion. See what you want to do in the market, where you think the opportunities are, and really decide to take that jump, because it's now or never. In fact, if you wait another month or 2 months, you're sitting right here, and then you'll have been too late. So yeah, I think we're close to a bottom for the general EVE economy, and just be ready, I would say. Of course, this is all my speculation. You know, the winter expansion could bomb, and then we have the exact opposite. Although, in my opinion, a Plex is never a lost item. But yeah, we're right at the cusp of it, in my opinion. So I think, despite the fact that it's just a general ETH talk this time, just look at the Tech 1 deflation, look at the Tech 3 deflation, look at the Plex market a little bit, and you know, do your homework. And I think a lot of people could make a lot of money. I'm not going to give away all my trades and all my secrets just yet. I'll report on that after I've made my profits. But I think it's looking really good and very interesting at the moment. Anyways, that's it for this ETH talk, guys. I hope you guys are also into the market, and I hope you guys make a lot of ISK out of the newbies. That's what they're there for. They're there to make ETH for us. And I'll see you guys next time.